Thank you all and welcome everyone. I'd like to spend just a few minutes highlighting some of the great energy and green features of this property. If you don't know, WinnCompanies is recognized as a national leader for its commitment to sustainability, integrating energy efficiency and renewable energy across our portfolio. Here at Atlantic Terrace, we have LED lighting, Energy Star appliances, and super low-flow toilets installed in every apartment. And features like this will help save energy, water, and money for both the residents and the management for years to come. And we're proud to announce that both Atlantic Terrace and Atlantic Gardens have achieved Enterprise Green Community certification. For those of you who don't know, Enterprise Green Community certification is similar to LEED, except designed specifically for multifamily affordable housing. But the most exciting energy feature of the property is really the solar. We have 651 kilowatts of solar power on the roofs. That makes it the largest community solar project in the district. We did this through a cooperation and a partnership with the district's Solar for All program. Every year for the next 15 years, $70,000 a year will be automatically transferred to low-income energy electricity subscribers to reduce their electric bills. That's $500 a year for each subscriber. This project is a showcase for what's possible and proves that the Solar for All program will be a success. I'd like to thank the mayor, council members, Director Wells, and others for committing the district to progressive solar policies without which this project would not be possible. I'd also like to thank our solar installer, Joe Morinville with Energy Independent Solutions. I'd like to thank our legal counsel, Kimberly Frank, and not least Nelson Matos, the boots on the ground Win employee who made sure that this all got done on schedule without any hiccups at all. Thank you all.
Thank you, Darian. Our next speaker will be Director Polly Donaldson from the District Department of Housing and Community Development. Director Donaldson has served as director since January of 2015. As director, she oversees more than 180 employees, 14 program areas, and manages an operating budget of over $250 million to preserve and produce rental and home ownership opportunities for the district residents while leading the charge of revitalizing underserved neighborhoods. The director is well known in D.C. affordable housing circles and has had great influence throughout the city. Prior to joining DHCD, Director Donaldson served as the Executive Director of Transitional Housing Corporation for over 10 years on the front lines of the city's housing crunch, working with churches, charities, and other nonprofit groups to produce and support affordable units for the formerly homeless. Please welcome Director Donaldson.
Good afternoon. I know this is just for the cameras. I just wanted to say, though, good afternoon. I am really delighted to be here, and I know that when Mayor Bowser gets here, she will really be able to speak to the vision and how her commitment to affordable housing and to the resources necessary to build affordable housing are one of her absolute top priorities here in the district. I have the privilege every day of going to DHCD here in Ward 8 at Martin Luther King and Good Hope Road and implementing that vision and those resources. And everyone knows that we have a housing production trust fund. You may even know that the mayor has committed, and this is the 4th year in a row, to $100 million each year for that trust fund. You can ask any of the finance people and developers in this tent, what that means. What that means is that we're going to be there, we're going to be at the table, that we want the affordable housing to be produced, but we also know that we must preserve our existing affordable housing as well. So it's very clear. Now you may say, well, what does that mean for a project like this? This means that $10.6 million was put into this project from the Housing Production Trust Fund in order to support the preservation of over 300 units of affordable housing, especially family-sized units. So there are over 70 three-bedroom units. There are hundreds of two-bedroom units, a few one-bedrooms, of course. It provides for all of that, as well as all of the facilities that you heard Brett just talk about as well. I want you to know that I had the pleasure of being here 2.5 years ago for the groundbreaking. I'm very glad to be back here for the ribbon cutting. And what I do know is that what we're doing with the trust fund is not only the envy of many cities across the country, but also that it is the principal means by which we are able to invest. We have also developed a preservation fund that is now going to be a source for preserving existing affordable housing as well. I could go on, but I see that our mayor has joined us, and so I want to thank my colleagues, fellow directors, Todd Lee and Tommy Wells, and I want to say, Mayor Bowser, it's a pleasure working every day to build more affordable housing in the district, and thank you for that opportunity. Mayor Bowser.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. What am I working with? This one? This one? Okay, nothing. All right. It's good to see everybody out this afternoon, and I, too, want to acknowledge the wonderful work of the agencies and our government and my cabinet members who have focused so hard and so well on the task, the responsibility, and the opportunity in our city to build more affordable housing. And let me start with our team at DHCD, Polly Donaldson, thank you, Todd Lee, thank you. And now we've added Tommy Wells to the housing team. So thank you, Tommy Wells. Let's give them a big round of applause. I want to acknowledge Betty Ann Kane, who chairs the district's Public Service Commission, and we're also very happy about the energy efficiency components of this project. We all know how fast our city is growing, 700,000 residents strong, and we're adding about 800 more people each and every month. This growth presents fantastic opportunities for each and every one of our neighborhoods. And it also means that we have to work faster. We know that when we add housing units, we make DC more affordable. And when we preserve housing units, we make DC more affordable. And this project here at the Atlantic Gardens is really going to help us do exactly that. So I want to congratulate the WinnCompanies, the Atlantic Gardens Tenant Association, for all of your hard work together to make it possible for us to be here today. We are supporting affordable housing through the Housing Production Trust Fund as one of our main tools. And we know when we do that, that really visionary and forward-thinking property owners can be our partners in preserving those units. So Atlantic Gardens and Atlantic Terrace had not been renovated in over 30 years. And just like anything, after 30 years, 40 years, you start showing a little age, and you need some investments, and we all need those investments, even us. And so it is important that property owners predictably and consistently invest in keeping our homes across the district in good shape. So the results are that there are 303 affordable units, with 90% of them family-sized. So 203 two-bedrooms and 73 bedroom apartment homes right here. So being able to preserve those types and sizes of units is really remarkable in our city. We know that the renovation includes new learning centers, a new playground, new updated community rooms and playgrounds. And through our Solar for All program, we have installed the largest community solar project in Washington, D.C. So we know that we'll be able to reduce energy bills by $500 per year for the next 15 years, which makes housing even more affordable. Most importantly, with this project, we will be able to keep 750 residents right here in the Atlantic apartment homes. So once again, I want to congratulate all involved, the WinnCompanies, the Tenants Association, all of our energy companies and our energy department for being involved in this project to bring it to fruition. And then we're always looking forward. I tell people all the time that we have wonderful, affordable housing stock across the District of Columbia. But if we want to keep it that way, we need projects like this one, so investments can be made to bring units to contemporary standards with contemporary amenities so that D.C. families can live here for years and years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for coming. Thank you very much, Mayor Bowser. We're thrilled to have you here. Our next speaker is going to be Director Tommy Wells. Director Wells has been the head of the District Department of Energy and the Environment since 2015. He is chiefly responsible for protecting the environment and conserving the natural resources of the District of Columbia. Director Wells' team is comprised of approximately 300 environmental professionals collectively, working to improve the quality of life for residents and the natural inhabitants of the nation's capital. Director Wells has made a 32-year commitment to public service in D.C., formerly serving as council member for Ward 6, where he chaired the D.C. Council Committee on Transportation and the Environment, and leadership of the D.C. Consortium and for Child Welfare. Please welcome Director Tommy Wells.
Mayor turned and looked at me. 30 years. You've been around here a while. Well, let me say that this is such an honor that the mayor has challenged us to make this one of the greenest cities in the country. And she's put together a team to really lead our cabinet, lead our city. I think that Polly Donaldson is, one of the best in the country. Todd Lee's just been a terrific partner for us. I know that, I believe that Reverend Thomas Bowen is here too from Religious Affairs. And again, as the mayor noted, Betty Ann Kane has done a remarkable job with the Public Service Commission looking forward. And then, as also noted, Ted Trabue from the SEU has been a great partner in continuing to reduce our energy use as we create more power for energy. You know, some people from across the country ask me, Mayor, how did you get to be the first LEED Platinum city in the whole wide world? Well, you know, it's projects like these. You know, we say, okay, we've cut this ribbon, and we move on to the next one, but it adds up. It is extraordinary, and the work that we're doing together is extraordinary. And I, also want to acknowledge that we're doing another project nearby at Oxen Run. I know that Commissioner Epsilon Jordan is here, and that together with our team, we're going to do another 2 megawatts, which is more than 2 times this. And again, the benefits go to low-income residents to bring their power bills down, because the mayor wants people to be able to afford to stay in the city they grew up in. And that's what we're doing. So I'm going to reiterate what we just heard. 651 kilowatts, largest CREF or solar installment like this for a community in DC's history. $70,000 worth of energy per year to cut over 160 households' power bills in half for 15 years. That is smart. That's an extraordinary way to use solar. on top of our roofs that were just protecting us from rain. Otherwise, we've turned this into a way to help make DC more affordable. It's smart, it's renewable, it's green, and I couldn't be prouder of the work that everyone is doing. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Director Wells. Our next speaker is Director Todd Lee of the DC Housing Finance Agency. Director Lee took over the agency in April 2016, focusing on bond financing for development or redevelopment of affordable housing units in nearly every ward in the district, as well as low-income tax credit equity financing. He has more than 20 years of extensive experience in the field of multifamily and commercial real estate finance, including a diverse background in multiple areas of investment and lending across a range of property types during his time at Fannie Mae. Please welcome Director Todd Lee.
Hey, good afternoon. The role of the agency is to really connect, Wall Street with our neighborhoods. Put simply, we facilitate and provide a platform for large banks and other institutional investors, to invest in affordable housing in the District of Columbia. This was a $70 million project. DCHFA issued $32 million in tax-exempt bonds, as well as $21 million in low-income housing tax credits, to provide a venue or an avenue for the equity to come into this deal. The district also provided another $10 million, over $10 million in housing production trust fund money, as well as, the capital that was provided by the Office of, the Energy and the Environment. I'm really excited. I'm ecstatic about what we were able to do here in the investment that we were able to make and facilitate. I'm even more excited when I look back at the fact that over the last 2 years, we've issued $500 million worth of tax-exempt bonds and invested that in the creation and preservation of affordable housing projects exactly like Atlantic Gardens throughout the district, as well as over $200 million in low-income housing tax credits. But what really makes it work, and Polly, yes, I am going to say it, is the 1/3 of $1 billion worth of trust fund dollars that Mayor Bowser has made available to us in order to make projects like Atlantic Gardens work. What we do is really fun for a living. We get to serve our neighbors, the residents of the District of Columbia. We get to work on complex real estate deals that have multiple sources of financing. And it makes what we do really, really interesting. But it's more than interesting. It's needed. It's necessary. We talk about the Far Southeast Collaborative. What we collectively do for a living, all of us that work on projects like Atlantic Gardens, have to work in collaboration, because it takes more than one, it takes more than two. It takes an entire team if, in fact, we're going to continue to provide and preserve the type of high-quality housing that we have in the District of Columbia, in Ward 8, and throughout this entire city. And so, Mayor Bowser, I want to thank you for charging us, with really aggressive goals. I want to thank each and every one who worked on this deal. I want to thank City Community Capital for providing the dollars necessary to get this project delivered. And I can't wait till the next time we all get together. Thanks a lot.
Okay, we're going to take a brief pause in the action, and we're going to cut the ribbon, do some photos, and then we will come back with our final two speakers.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Thank you very much for bearing with us through that brief intermission. Our next speaker has been a resident at Atlantic Gardens since 2009. He studied forensic psychology at the University of Maryland and is the president of the Atlantic Gardens Tenant Association. Please welcome Mr. Derek Langley.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. First, I would like to express what a great honor it is to be asked to speak at this wonderful event. I am truly humbled. I guess I should start from the beginning, a good place to start. Everyone who knows me knows I like musicals, so no, I will not be whipping out a guitar and leading everyone in an impromptu sing-along of Do Re Mi from The Sound of Music. The real beginning for me was when I became the Tenant Associate President of Atlantic Gardens in 2015, right before the renovations started. I was very excited about being in my new position, but I was also a little frightened. I was going from being a normal resident to the voice and representative to a lot of residents. I also realized that during the renovations, I was the person that would be attending meetings with the management to discuss and make some very important decisions. Honestly, I felt like a small fish in a gigantic ocean, and I worried if my voice would even be heard at all. My worries were soon put to rest. From day one, Wynn Residential and the management of Atlantic Apartment Homes listened not only to my voice, but the voice of the residents. They worked with all the tenant associations, not only to improve the physical property itself, but how we could help and change the lives of residents as well. From creating more 3-bedroom apartments, to deciding what color chairs I should put in my community room, I am proud and grateful to have been included in the decision-making process. As we gather together to celebrate the completion of the renovations, I would like to take this time to thank the management and staff teams of both Wynn Residential and Atlantic Apartment Homes. Thank you for your hard work, your dedication before, during, and after the renovations. Nikki Dickerson, Erica Armstrong, Jessica Moore, Lopa Shaw, Keena Barnes, Ebo Niel, Siobhan Buckner, and Nelson, I can't pronounce your last name. Thank you for listening to the problems and concerns that I bring to you from and for the residents. Each of you continues to amaze me with your work ethic, be it juggling multiple maintenance calls and tickets, managing the property, sifting through piles of paperwork, or finding funds to create new classes and programming. I truly appreciate all of you, and I look forward to our future meetings and discussions. Cassandra Matthews, President of Atlantic Terrace Tenant Association, thank you for teaching me the ropes, not being afraid to tell me when I'm wrong, being my ally in improving the lives of the residents, but most importantly, being one of my best and closest and dearest friends. Finally, I would like to thank Mr. Jack Carey. Never have I met someone with such a fire and passion for changing not only a property, but a community. An after-school learning center, a baseball academy with the Washington Nationals, an entrepreneur program that helps residents start their own businesses. These are just a few of the ideas that have come from the brilliant mind of Jack. Thank you again for all that you have done and all that you will continue to do. I would like to conclude this speech with the brilliant words from the composer, lyricist Stephen Sondheim. Anything you do, let it come from you, then it will be new. Give us more to see. I chose these words because I see the renovation as a work of art, not a simple painting, but the beginning of a masterpiece. So, I look forward to working with Atlantic Apartment Homes in the future to give the residents and the community more to see. Thank you.
Well, what a wonderful speech. Thank you very much for the compliments, and what a tough act to follow. Our final speaker will be the owner and CEO of WinnCompanies, Gilbert Wynn.
Yeah, Derek, thank you for those words and the sentiments. You really just said everything I wanted to say, so I really don't want to try to re-say it. But I just thank everyone for coming today. We are very proud of Atlantic Apartment Homes. We really view this property and the District of Columbia as some of our most important work. We know the challenge in the district. We know how difficult it is for our residents to get a fair shake, a fair leg up, to have a safe home. There's not enough of this type of housing in the country, and certainly not in the district. And when we look to preserve this type of housing, we don't only look to save the bricks and the sticks, but we also look to add community amenities and services. We add things that help the environment. While we're here making a difference in people's lives with their homes, we have to do a better job of giving them a leg up in their careers, their health, and their outcomes. And that's really what this team has done. The Community Impact Center that's going to be opening in a week or two, the daycare centers, the community service training centers for job placement and health outcomes, that's not just a small part of that. That is the point. We need people to live here in a safe location and improve their lives. And if we have a part in that, we're very proud to have a part in that. The district does a great job of creating funding that allows complex projects to occur. Not every city, not every state has that. Sometimes there are very strict rules that only allow you to do the bricks and sticks. Sometimes there are agencies that work together to allow you to do more, to allow you to save residents' utility bills and save the environment while you're at it, to help fund community services that will last generations. The district understands it. Mayor Bowser understands it, and the directors here today understand it. We're proud to be a part of it, and we're looking to do more in the district. We're looking to take the successes of this project and continue it on in Southern Hills, which deserves the same treatment. That is my cue. But I wanted to say thank you, especially to Brett Marengoff for spearheading this project. It was not easy. It was herding cats and dealing with many hurdles. And I just want to thank everyone for coming here today, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. That concludes the speaking program. You are free to walk around the property, check it out, and also there are refreshments for everyone in the community room, which is that direction. So thank you very much, and congratulations.